Russia's reduced to radio that can be intercepted by Ukraine. After a recent satellite internet cutoff during Russian assault on Ukraine. Russian internet has gone dark, forcing troops to rely on radio communications that can be intercepted by fully functioning Ukrainian battalions. Mechanics use a blowtorch to thaw frozen pipes during emergency repairs. After Russian strikes on critical power infrastructure, cut electricity by compare, leaving homes without heat on February 19, 22 DCs in Kyiv, Ukraine. Moldova and Ukraine investigate alleged Russian-backed assassination plot in Ukraine. Directed at prominent Ukrainians, Moldovan police on February 19 launched a joint investigation with Ukrainian authorities alleging a plot was directed into assassination of several public figures in Ukraine by covert Russian special services. Trump, U.S. reportedly presses allies to block Ukraine from full participation. At a NATO summit, Trump, U.S. is pressing allies not to invite Ukraine to formal meetings, citing 4 diplomats regarding the Ankara-Turkey NATO summit on July 7 to 8, 22 ECN's meeting. Russia publicly pitches $14 trillion economic deal to Trump tied to lifting U.S. sanctions. If Washington lifts sanctions on Russia with Trump, U.S. Russian supportive action, Trump, U.S. could gain access to joint projects with Moscow worth more than $14 trillion. But Kremlin economic negotiator Kirill Dmitriev on February 18 resists that caller, saying don't believe in fairy tales. Russia scrambles for a frontline signal after Stalin cut off. Russia's assault on Ukraine has gone dark after a recent satellite internet cut off, forcing their troops to rely on radio communications that can be intercepted by Ukrainian forces. So what about this $14 trillion deal with Russia? Fly by night. Russia's reduced to radio that can be intercepted by Ukraine. After a recent satellite internet cutoff during Russian assault on Ukraine. Russian internet has gone dark, forcing troops to rely on radio communications that can be intercepted by fully functioning Ukrainian battalions. Mechanics use a blowtorch to thaw frozen pipes during emergency repairs. After Russian strikes on critical power infrastructure, cut electricity by compare, leaving homes without heat on February 19, 22 DCs in Kyiv, Ukraine. Moldova and Ukraine investigate alleged Russian-backed assassination plot in Ukraine. Directed at prominent Ukrainians, Moldovan police on February 19 launched a joint investigation with Ukrainian authorities alleging a plot was directed into assassination of several public figures in Ukraine by covert Russian special services. Trump, U.S. reportedly presses allies to block Ukraine from full participation. At a NATO summit, Trump, U.S. is pressing allies not to invite Ukraine to formal meetings, citing 4 diplomats regarding the Ankara-Turkey NATO summit on July 7 to 8, 22 ECN's meeting. Russia publicly pitches $14 trillion economic deal to Trump tied to lifting U.S. sanctions. If Washington lifts sanctions on Russia with Trump, U.S. Russian supportive action, Trump, U.S. could gain access to joint projects with Moscow worth more than $14 trillion. But Kremlin economic negotiator Kirill Dmitriev on February 18 resists that caller, saying don't believe in fairy tales. Russia scrambles for a frontline signal after Stalin cut off. Russia's assault on Ukraine has gone dark after a recent satellite internet cut off, forcing their troops to rely on radio communications that can be intercepted by Ukrainian forces. So what about this $14 trillion deal with Russia? Fly by night.